Welcome back to the show, Mykee.
Uh, Feels like I never left.
We both we're recording this on February 28th, and it'll be out on February 29th. February 28th was the last time we drank.
Correct.
So I don't have any plans on drinking tonight, do you?
Nope.
All right, so that means we can celebrate 4 years right now.
I think so. I think it's safe to say that we're going to stay sober for another 24 hours.
Yeah, I think so too. What have you learned in the last 4 years?
That I absolutely can live without alcohol. Because that was a thing that I really wasn't sure of before. Because I tried to quit drinking a couple of times before we did.
Unsuccessful?
Of course. But, I mean, one of the biggest things that we've realized is it's people, places, and things. And when you remove the people that want you to continue drinking because that's what your entire social life existed as, um, it, it's a lot easier to just not drink.
Now, what was different this time around as opposed to the other times you tried to quit?
Um, well, we had each other and we were in lockdown.
Yeah, because we quit February 29th, and then March 12th was the beginning of lockdowns.
Yep.
And so
And
it sound like shit. I've been sick since Saturday. It's now Wednesday, and there's no end in sight for this cough and fever.
no, I've been rocking it for 3 weeks and I'm just starting to feel like a human being.
I am far from a human being right now.
Yeah. Well, you were just, rocking 101 fevers yesterday. So,
Last night, even.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a week. So that's why I have no plans on drinking tonight.
No.
Already sick as it is.
Yeah. The closest we get to, having a cocktail is when we have to take cold medicine.
Yeah, that was the worst shot I've ever
Was
taken.
it? There's no way that's raspberry mint.
There was nothing about raspberry or mint in that at all.
No. No. But, ugh. It's not.
So
It's not good stuff. And
besides having each other, what else is different?
um, well, we have cannabis. You helped me get my medical card, and um, using that to like mitigate the anxiety and um, the craving for something to just take the edge off during the early pandemic. Um, Thankfully, we figured out how to make that awesome iced tea with the cannabis. So we were having our cocktails, but, you know, it was just relaxing us and making us so that we could focus on just keeping ourselves okay while the rest of the world was ending, because that's what it felt like.
And I don't smoke as much as I used to. Um, and it's because cannabis can get expensive.
Cannabis is so expensive. So, like, even though, yeah, we could just be stoned all the time. um, it's really expensive to like be a pothead like that.
Yeah,
So
We get the dispensary stuff, not we're not getting it off the street or anything.
No. And it's medicine. For me, it's for my pain and to help me rest because MS is it's a bitch. um, and like you have insomnia and you have anxiety, and I mean, it helps with the aches and pains of getting older.
Now, the last time, not the last time we talked, but the last time you were on the show, you had just found out you were diagnosed with MS like a month before.
Yep.
And it's not recommended to drink when you have MS to begin with.
No. Hell, half the time people might think that I was drunk just because of the way that my body doesn't cooperate when I try to walk. So, um, I, no, I'm good. I don't want to add to the way that this disease is damaging my nervous system, um, the way that it's changed really everything about my cognition. And no, alcohol would just make all of that way worse. Um, and I can honestly say that as much as it sucked a lot to be sick like this, I've not wanted to drink about it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. We both lost people in sobriety and people that we were close to. You know,
Yeah.
your grandma, your grandpa, my dad, you know what I mean? And we were able to get through those kind of grieving processes without having to worry about drinking.
Yeah. Um, and I mean, had it been anybody else in my life, I'm not sure that I would still have maintained my sobriety. But we have this support of each other, and we look out for each other, and it makes it easy to not, I don't know, escape.
For those that are confused as to why we're Skyping each other, is because when we moved, I can't find all the microphones. So we needed to do a Skype for the room. I'm in my office, she's in the bedroom, and we're just going to Skype each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm actually kind of annoyed that my background is blurred because I can't show off the paintings.
Yeah, that's not working.
No.
Um, how long do you think it's sustainable to keep going sober?
I mean, I don't think that I see myself picking it back up. Um,
Is there ever cravings?
um, not cravings for like being drunk, but alcohol is still widely marketed, and I was a big fan of cocktails like a margarita on a hot summer day with some tacos. That's a flavor combination that I miss, but I'm good.
Have you ever thought about making mocktails?
Yeah, and they, in the moment, they can serve the purpose, but to me, like I was a bartender early in my 20s, so like I was learning to make these drinks as I was learning to like them. And for me, like the taste of a margarita without the tequila isn't the same. Um, but I can still just, it's okay. I don't need it.
Yeah, there's some times where I miss a Jack and Coke or a Tito's and Coke, but
Hmm.
all since this year started, I've given up soda and fast food, and I
Yeah.
was really tempted last night to break my streak. I went outside to smoke 3 different times last night, and I'm just saying this for the sake of everybody else. There was a bag of Arby's and a soda sitting on our steps outside.
Yeah.
Not like
And you
we
sent me a Snapchat of it, like,
live in an apartment complex with
it's just
like
there.
there's got to be 50 apartments in our complex, like in our building alone. Um,
Absolutely.
there's got to be 50 units at least. So that could have been anybody's, but it sat out there for 3 hours just staring me in the face. Like, come on and drink me. And no one's claiming this sandwich. It's probably delicious cheddar and roast beef and some curly fries. Who knows what was in that bag?
Could have been
But
anything.
and I haven't had fast food all year. And that was like the ultimate test of there was no address on the receipt. There was no phone number. The only phone number was an 855 number. Because I looked, I was like, maybe I'll just deliver this to their door.
Yeah.
There was
Remove
no,
the temptation. Give it to the person that it belongs to.
and I couldn't even do that. It was such a test of willpower.
Hmm.
And I think since I could give up alcohol, I can give up soda.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There were no, like, actual, like, withdrawals from fast food. You didn't need to go to the hospital.
I have needed to go to the hospital, but for different reasons.
Yeah, but not to detox.
Yeah. Because besides severe insomnia, I also deal with severe hypertension, and my blood pressure is all out of whack sometimes. And I think that's another reason why I know I can't drink again is because of all my health risks that go along with it and my medications that it won't mix with.
It won't. It would be very, it could be detrimental. One cocktail with the meds that you're on, and like,
I woke up 4 years ago with the empty jar, like a mason jar of Coke next to the bed that I brought to bed with me and finished while I was sleeping. Well, trying to sleep.
how do you feel now that we're 4 years alcohol free?
I feel good. I feel better. Like there's only sometimes small cravings, but
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not all the time. My biggest vice now is still smoking, and I want to quit that. It's just been extremely hard. I've been smoking for 24 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got the hardest part is driving because I'm so used to having a cigarette while I drive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the last way I'll try to quit smoking is while I drive because like right now it's pouring rain.
Yeah.
So it's more like a necessity if I had to go out and smoke because which I'm gonna do after this.
I was just gonna ask, and you're gonna probably go do that as soon as we hang up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll probably smoke another one when you're done doing whatever you need to do to edit this. And right?
Right.
Yeah.
Even though it's pouring rain.
Mhm.
Um I had another question.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what it was. I'm so tired and so out of it from all my cold medicine and shit.
I know.
And it's not even a cold, it's literally a fever that's burning up my brain.
But you also have like sinus stuff going on. You've got respiratory congestion. It's a cold.
I would say it's a cold and flu.
Yeah, I mean you were sick to your stomach yesterday. Yeah. So bad. You were so white, like pale as pale can be yesterday. And you tricked me.
I went to urgent care. I did.
I know, but you tricked me.
My bad.
Uh-huh. I thought you were just running to the gas station and back.
Oh, I didn't mean to trick you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I check your location and you're at the hospital. Ah!
The convenient care is next to the hospital now. It moved. I meant to call you. I did, and then I got distracted by Howard Stern.
Yeah. You don't have any ADHD or anything in you.
4 years sober, and I still sometimes just forget to do things.
I know. So do
And
I.
and again, my brain was like on fire.
Yes, it was. I forgave you, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to bring it up.
Um, what do you see yourself? Because like you've also got into painting.
Hmm.
Well, you already painted, but now you're really into it.
Yes. Well, it ebbs and flows. It depends on my hands, but yeah. Um, the MS has made me have to like slow down, so I have to be more patient with myself on like projects that I do. Um, and it's made me a better artist. Um, but it's sort of a blessing and a curse.
I have a bunch of your paintings in here. I have the Mitzi Shore right behind me. Then I have the burgers flying in the air.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a.
The
Oh yeah,
South Park one's right behind your head.
that's Randy Marsh from South Park and Butters. That's Bob's Diner, and that's Tom Segura and Christina P. So you're all around.
Yeah, I surround you in there.
Yeah, it's definitely made my office more whole.
Yeah.
Um, now, when you say people, places, and things, are you surrounded by sober people?
I am. I am. Um, I mean, my two oldest kids are, uh, well, one's gonna be 19 this weekend, and the other is gonna be 21 in April, and neither of them really, they don't drink. They don't. The oldest doesn't consume any mind-altering substances. Never has. They don't want to. Um, I mean, my friends that I talk to daily are pretty much all in recovery. Um, yeah, I there's people that I have like still connection with, but I don't see them socially because I don't want to be handed a drink. I don't, and I don't leave the house. So, um, yeah, I mean, my previous care worker, Callie, we met her through our meeting center, and she worked here for 2 years, and yesterday was her last day. And one of our amazing sober friends that we also met through the meeting center is starting work with me tomorrow. Um, it's nice to find others in recovery because it helps to strengthen your own when your people that you're talking to every day aren't talking about how they had a whole six pack on their lunch break, and they're talking about how it's been X amount of time for them too, and how they're grateful to like have their wits about them today. And everybody is still in the process of recovering from something because all of us have some trauma in our past that has fueled our addictions, and a lot of that stuff we're still recovering from.
Yeah, I
Like,
already recorded with Callie. Her episode will be out in a few weeks.
yeah, like
Because she
have
the story.
we have our baggage, and I'm just a couple of hours, 2 hours right now away from my first psychiatry appointment in sobriety.
And you also got into therapy too, right?
Yes. I've had to go through a couple of therapists against my will. When I was still drinking, I went through them as soon as they started telling me things I didn't want to hear. But the therapists that I've had since I've been sober, um, I've built real connections with, and they've really helped me to heal some of my stuff that I just really never dealt with. Um, because until the past like 5 years, nobody talked about being in therapy. Nobody talked about, trauma recovery. They didn't talk about that stuff. So now, those of us that are trying to heal, we're talking about it loud because we're like, there's no shame. There's none. You can do it. And it's so much better on this side of it. It gets messy, just like with, detoxing from substances, recovering from trauma and healing our like inner child or whatever previous versions of ourselves were hurt. When we're healing that, it can be messy in the moment, but then, it gets so much better. And
And
that's just something that happened.
when you say people, places, and things, who else have you had to cut out of your life for your own like mental health?
It hasn't just been friends. It's been my mother. It's been 14 months, I think. A little
Yeah,
over 14 months.
on Christmas.
Yeah. Because her pain and her trauma was still, deeply affecting her, and she was taking it out on everybody around her. I couldn't I couldn't I couldn't take it anymore. And when people who are deeply hurting and they're hurting other people, the last thing that they want is to see the people that they hurt healing, because then it's showing them like, oh, like there's something wrong with me. I need to change. I have to do this, and I don't want to. And it sucks. It sucks a lot. But the last 14 months have been some of the most peaceful and truly healing months of my life.
Therapy has helped you get through that too?
Absolutely. Like I started with EMDR, and that's really what, like, whoa. There's a lot of shit to unpack. So, it's after that one big release, like I painted a really raw painting after that because of how much it felt like it ripped me open, but it was good and it was needed. And it, ever since that, it's been less and less and less and less and less and less as I process and unpack more of it. And I don't hate myself like I used to.
I'm just glad that she hasn't like forced, like she didn't like send Christmas gifts, and
No, she tried a little bit. Like, she didn't try to talk to me, and that was great, but she still tried to send stuff for, our kid. But, I placed that boundary and she has respected it. And that's all I asked for.
yeah, yeah.
Don't come around. And
We
I told her to get some therapy.
we moved, so she can't even find us if she wanted to.
No. Nope.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Like, you've done a lot of growing and a lot of changing and a lot of reflection as well.
Thank you.
I mean, we've done this together. I think it's, if anything, I think it's strengthened us.
Well, speaking of strengthening us, I got to get on the therapy in a little bit.
Yep.
Do you have any last words before I let you go?
I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. Because I was an alcoholic. And if I can get out, anybody can get out. And I mean, Leap Day is an awesome sober date. Just saying.
I haven't heard of anybody else having our sober date. Like, no one's ever reached out to me and said, "Oh, we have the same sober date." Or out of the 150 plus interviews I've done, no one's had the same sober. The closest is my buddy Charlie, that has been on the show a couple times. His sober date is like last week, like 4 or 5 days before
Yeah.
ours. He just hit 4 years also, so his date is almost exactly ours.
Yeah.
It was the 22nd, and so I remember his being like a week before ours.
Yeah. No. I'm proud of our sober date. Like, you saw an opportunity there and we took it and we stuck with it.
Well, I love you.
I love you.
I'll see you soon.
I'll see you in a minute.